Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Petal Talk podcast. I am your host, Allison, and today we got my girl, Natalie, on the podcast.
Hi, welcome to Petal Talk, where skincare meets soul care.
Hello. For those of our listeners, they don't even know it yet, but they do follow you on Instagram. They
probably
100% do. Seriously, they might not know that it's you, but they definitely follow you and your entity. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and specifically drop your IG handle because I know that all my hot girls follow you.
Okay, awesome. Hi guys, I'm Natalie. I just moved here a year ago from South Florida. I moved to Orlando, and we'll get into like the story of it, but I started the Hey Girl Orlando page, and I am also partnered with a good friend of mine who I met through Hey Girl Orlando, and her name's Melissa. We have a Wellness House Orlando page.
Yeah.
So I run both Hey Girl Orlando, Wellness House, and then I'm a brand photographer as a full-time job. Yeah. And so that is flow management. I'll also, however we need to set that up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I run quite a few pages, but I'd say primarily the Hey Girl Orlando one is what really took off. And I think that's like the bigger picture of what we're talking about.
Totally. Yeah, all of it. And I mean, obviously that's how I found you. I don't even remember who brought it up, but I have a really large group of girlfriends. There's like 20 of us, and we're always looking at things to do in the area, whatever. And they were just, we were always just sending each other events or posts or whatever. And I'm like, what is this page? Like,
amazing.
There's
I love
something
to hear
here.
that.
So seriously, it's so cool. And for us, like I joked earlier about like, we're your prime demographic, but like we really are like, we're all between like mid 20s, mid 30s. And we are all like very health conscious and are busy in the workforce. Some are married, some are not, some have babies, some do not, but like really this like beautiful group of women, and just like resonated so much with the marketing and the way you tell a story, which clearly is such a representative of your business outside of their, right? Like photography and just storytelling. Sure. And there's just something to it, right? Like, I hate to say it, but like the branding and photography, like it works.
It matters.
It does matter.
I try to tell people that all the time, no matter where you are, what page you're starting or what community you're starting, whatever you're doing, the branding and like you said, the storytelling, that all matters. It's in the marketing as much as people think like, oh, well, I can just like create a reel and that's just what's going to bring people in. It really is how you present the information because at the end of the day, it's psychology, right? It's psychology. You have to figure out who your audience is and how you want to appeal to them and how you want to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
It's an entire conversation. A whole marketing strategy is conversation. So I'm very grateful that like you found me. I love to hear that you guys were sharing stuff back and forth because I would say over the last year, right? Like it's been about a year since I started it. And I don't know, is this a good time to get into like context?
Please.
Okay, cool.
Please.
All right. So let's get into like how it even started.
Yes,
okay,
please.
Cool.
I'm begging.
Backtrack. I'm from South Florida.
Yes.
I'm from South Florida. I moved to Orlando, because I started dating someone and we're pretty serious. We just got a puppy. So
it's like really serious. Yeah.
We just got a little baby puppy sheepadoodle.
Thank God.
So when I moved up here a year ago, it was a year and a half ago now. It was in June of last year officially that I moved. And when I got here, right, like my notion of Orlando, and maybe this is just from like, maybe I'm just like so used to South Florida or like just being involved in bigger cities that I thought Orlando, like in my mind, Orlando is that size of like Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
It's like not though.
That's okay. But I thought like,
I also thought that. I thought that too until
really
I moved here and I'm
that.
like, wait, it's actually like kind of small.
Okay. Yeah.
So I moved here from Vegas and then I lived kind of by Salt Lake City and then I lived in Denver.
And you're like Orlando, that sounds like
a big city.
Yes.
No.
Okay. So even downtown is not as big as I thought it was. And even when I was visiting, I think I wasn't paying as much attention to like where I'm living before. It was so vast. I thought that like Orlando was that vast because all we were doing was like driving to the place and driving to, you're not like walking around, but once you actually take like a walk around the block of downtown, you're like, I just made it around here in an hour. Like, it's crazy. Okay. So anyway, I moved here from South Florida and in the process of moving, you're moving in with someone and I'm going to get a little personal and transparent here, but when you're moving in with a partner, right, especially to a different city, I think that there's something to be said about remaining autonomous.
Absolutely.
And in my transition period of moving from South Florida to Orlando, I was like, you know what? I want to still maintain my autonomy. Yep. We were doing, it was only 6-7 months, which, I'm in my 30s, so it's not that long of a time to move in with someone.
Right. Yeah, you're an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
like it's we're like we know what we want.
What other? Yeah, I'm like, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, exactly. So in my transition, my thought was, okay, I'm moving to another city. I mean, kind of like, I don't want to say giving up, because I'm not giving up anything, because I can come back home in like 3 hours away. But I am shifting my focus a little bit. And so I want to make sure that I'm remaining autonomous in the way that I pour myself into community, because I did a lot of that down south, and I was attending a lot of events. I saw like the marketing from all the events. You know, I've worked in marketing in South Florida, so I kind of just like, I've been involved in this type of thing for a while. So when I moved here, I went to go look for networking events, and I was like, let me just type something quick in Eventbrite. I was like, wait, how come I'm finding nothing? Like, I don't get it. I could usually at home, I'm just typing something in Eventbrite, Google something, Instagram, like things
even like
to do
Facebook groups.
Anything.
Right.
You could type in anything into any social media platform, and you would find something in South Florida. And here it was a lot harder. And something that I was looking for specifically was networking with a group the way that I was networking in South Florida. And I felt like there was not a lot. And I had attended one networking event where it was a little bit of an older crowd. And not that that's a bad thing, right? Sure. Like attending somewhere with this older crowd is not a bad thing. I think it's just a different speed. Yeah. It's a different speed, and like the dynamic. It's a different
level of connection. So you can only get so deep.
So different.
With people that are so different from you.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And when I went, like, I definitely gave it a try. I wasn't like, I'm not above going to any, like, I'm like, I'll throw myself into anything.
And you're new. Maybe I'll meet someone, whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. You just never know. Right. That's my mentality, is you just never know what you're going to meet. What's going to happen. Just go, show up. That's your job. Yep. So I went, and I came home, and I was like, that was cool, but like I'm looking for something that's a little bit more of like where I'm at in life. And where I'm at is I'm in a new relationship. I was just freshly single. You know what I'm saying? Like I was single. I was a single girl wanting to meet other single girls and create that type of like girly pop community. Yeah. And since I'd done a lot of it in down south, it was more about like volunteering, but I met a lot of people through there, you know. So I was like, why don't I, like, let's just see what happens if I threw a networking event. Like, because I had the experience, and we can go, like, back into my experience after this. But from my experience, I was like, can't be that hard. Like, I'm just going to reach out to some place who has probably never done a networking event before, or, like, never done anything like that. I'll ask them if they could do some type of discount, or, you know, do, like, a bar tab, or, like, something to that
some sort of incentive.
Something. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, let me just create this page. And actually, a girlfriend that lived here already, she was living here maybe like a year before I moved up, her and I were talking about it, and I kind of like told her the same thing, and she was like, what about, and I'll give her credit for this, because like I think it was like in a text that we were talking about like what could the name be for this page, and I was like, I don't know, like girly, like something girl. My marketing brain is like throwing ideas into a bucket. And she's like, what about Hey Girl Orlando? I was like, that is genius.
Title.
Like, title. That's what, and we got the Instagram right at that moment. She was just like helping me look for it, whatever. She didn't end up becoming involved in it or anything, but it was like through a conversation. I think that's when the best ideas happen, is when you guys are just like having
chopping it up.
Exactly. It's exactly what we're doing here.
Yes.
And so, the name, you know, I got the Instagram, and I reached out to this place called Garden Tiger, which is I don't think it's open anymore. I think now it was maybe like a couple months after I threw the event, it permanently closed.
Oh, wow.
It used to be, it was this plant place.
Oh, like a nursery?
Yes, but it was like a very big plant place. I can't remember the name, but I remember they like moved into this place, and they called it Garden Tiger now. And they had like Han coffee there.
Oh,
it was like a whole thing. Yeah. So anyway, I reached out to them, met with them. They were like, love the idea, do it. They got us a DJ. We had the event. And then when I started marketing the event, before everyone started
that's
attending,
so legit though.
Yeah. I was surprised. The
like
day
a DJ.
They didn't even tell it. They didn't even tell me. I thought I was just going to go off, like, I don't know, I'll just bring my speaker.
Sure.
And I'll just have a playlist. Like, I don't know, something just for vibes. And then when you got there, they had a DJ, which was really cool. So I'm super appreciative. But in the process of like, okay, now that I put this date, this time, like I've connected with the venue, now all I have to do is like the marketing part of it. And like I was kind of like, how would I be pulled into something right now in this season of my life?
That's so good, right? Yeah. I feel similarly with the girls, right? I'm always like, you will attract guests like you because you are your own brand, right? Yes. And I can see when a girl comes in, I can tell you exactly who's her provider, just based on the vibes, right? And so kind of looking internally, being like, okay, what pulls me? What am I interested in? That's how you create that type of community, right? Because you are like that. I see that. And I'm like, oh, I already know we're going to be friends because I'm like you.
Exactly.
That's what I want, right? And all my 20 girlfriends, we're all like you too. So we're going to be flocking to you as well. But it's staying consistent in your own branding and niching down as much as you want. Yeah, because those people will follow you. Those people will find you.
100%. Like they say, you know, like you build it and the people will come. Absolutely. As long as you build it in the image of what you feel is true to you and your most authentic, like feeling about whatever it is, that's who will come for sure. Oh, I thought maybe. Okay. So whatever. I created the marketing, you know, and again, I've had marketing experience in the past. So the way that I was putting things together was in that mindset. And when I started releasing it, I think there was like, and I remember seeing like the trending reels that were happening around like cities for invites and stuff. And the one that got the biggest hit was like a little trend where you like clap your hands and then you open it and it's like a paper. It's like a balled up paper and you open the balled up paper.
Oh,
yeah, it's like the invite. I was like, let me just invite people like this. Like, that's so cute. Yeah. I did it with my little tripod, did the thing. It got so many hits.
You're kidding.
Because it created like a mysterious, like, what are we invited to? Like, what is this? You know? And so it brought everyone to the page. People started following. People started signing up. It was, I mean, in my mind, 35, I've held events that were larger than 35 people, but for something that was like brand new, for it to be sold out,
a city you don't know anything about, in a place that you're not familiar with, in a venue you don't really know much about.
Right. No, I had been there one time.
Yeah. 10 people would have been great.
Right, exactly. And my expectation was like, even if it's 3 people, I'm just trying to make friends.
Totally.
Like, I just want to like meet some girls.
Totally.
I don't want to be moved up here and then I have no one. Like, no disrespect to my partner. I love him. He's amazing. He's my best friend.
It's different though.
It's different. The girlies are different. Like you need
that. And that's not something that I understood seriously until the last like 2 years having this big group of girlfriends. I've never been a big friend girl, right? Like I've always had like 1 or 2, but I've never had just like a community kind of. Right. And there is something about having these women in my life. It changes you.
Yes,
like you get to see yourself differently. You're supported differently. You are loved differently. And like, it was just my birthday in August, and these girls showed up for me more than any man ever has in my entire life. Seriously. And I was hysterical the whole weekend. They so intentional with colors, decorations, favorite things, all of these things. And I'm thinking like, I've never had this in my life. Like, but how lucky am I that I'm able to find this connection? Me and these girls will be friends for the rest of our lives. Right. Like seriously, it's different. Like our partners, they're fine. They're fine.
They're amazing.
We love them.
They're great. Yeah.
Like, right. But the deep relationship with the women, it's different. It really, really is. So I totally understand.
Yeah. No. And to just touch on that too, part of the reason why I wanted that, right, when I moved up here, it was because I had such a strong foundation in South Florida. Like I have it's a group of 7 of us, and it's my core friends that I've been friends with since I was in middle school. And we're all in such different phases.
That's how we are too.
We're in different phases and in different seasons. Like one of my best friends is pregnant with her second baby. 2 of them actually now just recently. Another one is a VP of marketing in New York. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and like, I'm here.
And how sick is that?
It's amazing.
Yes.
And that foundation of friendships, although like, you know, I think overall, when you have such a dynamic group of people in one group, I guess, in one group, you get a lot of experiences, right? Because there's a lot of communication that needs to happen. Like, hey, like I couldn't text because I'm pregnant with my other baby, you know, like, or like whatever. Hey, I'm in, one of my friends, she had to go to Italy. Like, hey, I can't connect with you for the next 2 weeks because I'm going to be in Italy for work. Right. You know, that type of thing. Right. So there's a lot of experiences that happen there, but the foundation of the friendship that stays so strong, it makes you want to seek out other friends. And especially if you're in a different season as your friend who's, let's say, pregnant, you're looking for that community who is not yet in that stage. And so that was also part of me creating this, was I was like, all right, well, I don't have any kids. Like, I'm in this new relationship that is now like going in that direction.
Right.
But I've never been in that season before. And I want to find other women who are my age, not necessarily in that season. Right. I mean, eventually we'll get into like the mom stuff. And, but I think that's what's so beautiful about the page is that it can evolve with the seasons.
Absolutely.
And whatever season I'm in, which I feel like is like sort of like a beginning stage. I'm still in like, because I'm technically not engaged. I'm not married. So like single is is a technical term for it. I'm still single. So, which I'm not, babe. If you're watching.
I'm sorry.
I'm not single. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Legalese over here, okay?
The legality of it is
sorry. Maybe, like, if you don't like it, though, maybe, like, hurry it along, okay? Then she can change it, okay? Thank you.
So I still am, like, looking for that community. And I found such, and, like, through that first event, all the women that rolled in, it was sold out. It was 35 girls. And I had like a little, just give you like an experience, right? Like I had little bingo cards for everyone. So everyone was networking. Everyone was like getting each other's Instagrams. Everyone, this was August of 2024. What's 25? So August of 24 was when I had the first event. And so I got these little bingo cards. I made them on Canva. It was like, hey girl, bingo. Everyone was getting each other's Instagrams, posting on Instagram, posting about the actual location. People were like sharing their
and it's
dreams.
Cute, vibey, of course.
Cute, so vibey. Everyone was
they want to post about
wine,
it.
Wine. There was plants everywhere. There was lights. There was a DJ. There was gift bags. So I try to, as often as I can for every event, do little goodies because I want you to walk away with something, even if it's like, I don't know, just something silly. But I want it to be of use, right? Like the one thing I don't like, and I don't want to say hate because it's such a strong word, but have experience is like a goodie bag. And this is just personal preference, but like a goodie bag that I open when I get home and I'm like,
it's all junk.
Or I can't like do anything with it.
Yes.
You know, like it's a bunch of like cards and I'm like, cool, I'll save those because now I'm thinking like business, whatever. Like those are still beneficial. But like for this type of event, I wanted to do something that's like, all right, under eye masks. Like all of us are going to use that. Hair ties.
And like we talked about earlier, the cute stuff, like I know that it's silly. It works. Like if I'm opening this bag and it's like a bunch of gray junk, I'm like, okay, I'm throwing it away. Right? Like, but if I'm opening it and it's like, this is pink and this is purple and this is blue. Like you just naturally, especially, I don't even know, like as women, but just like curiosity. It's the human nature. Like what is this? Like, let me take 2 seconds to even look rather than junk, throwing it away, not even thinking twice about it. Plus also, it's better to look at that stuff and take it seriously because the alternative is throwing it away and then it's a waste anyway.
And also like just talking about the psychology and marketing behind it too, like I'm thinking of myself and I always use this example like whenever I'm working with a client or whatever it is. I don't like to do more work, which I'm the average human. Like the average human does not like to do more work than is necessary to get 100%. The like instant gratification. And I'm just like, I'm speaking on I feel like that's like, I don't know, like caveman level. I'm just like, I don't want to, like,
don't want to work, right? But like also, no.
That's how you have to think about like it's a range, right? Like it's such a range, and so like if you say the average human doesn't necessarily want to do like the extra steps. So if I'm opening a gift bag and I get a bunch of papers that's like, hey, log in here to get this thing, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. No. What I want is I want to pull something out of a bag and put it in my
immediately.
hair. And like,
or eat it immediately, or put it on immediately.
So the psychology behind it too with the gift bags is like, all right, so somebody who comes to the event, right? And this is like a pointer for anyone who's creating a community. I want someone to open up the bag, grab the hair tie, put it in their hair, keep it, and the next time they go to use it, they're like, oh yeah, I got this from here, you know? And I want it to be a constant reminder. And like, even if they throw the eye patches away, at least you got it for that moment and you remember where you got it from.
Maybe you'll take a cute pic, maybe put it on your story.
Exactly. Whatever it is. And so anyway, that's how I started with the goodie bags, the gift bags. And so I try to do that every event. Now I'm looking more into, because I've had also sponsorship experience too. I used to work in production. I'm not going to get into like names and stuff, but in production for music festivals, but it was on the media side of it. And so I understood what sponsorship was like. And so now I'm moving into a place where I would like to get female-owned businesses sponsoring these goodie bags because I want them to provide something for everyone. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, it came from Hager Orlando. It's
Right.
like, it came from this person, and I want my platform to be the space where you can do that.
Absolutely.
You know, where you can insert yourself with something you think that the community is going to want and need.
Right.
Or just like, just want to use.
Yeah.
So
or
that's
take
like
a picture of like something.
Exactly, something.
This conversation reminds me a lot. Do you know the brand Summer Fridays?
Yes.
Okay, so do you know Mariana Hewitt? Mariana Hewitt. She's one of the two. It's Lauren Ireland and then Mariana Hewitt. That's the two women that started Summer Fridays. Mariana Hewitt used to have a podcast, Life with Mariana, and it was like very insightful. It was a lot of these types of conversations. And she talks about how Summer Fridays, they started out because it was like all D2C type business, and she will talk about how the only thing she ever cared about in the beginning was how like Instagrammable the products were, because they weren't going in store to find it. They weren't, you know, their friends weren't necessarily telling them about it. It was just like directly from one spot to the other.
Right.
And this is such a similar conversation in like those things might feel a bit silly to talk about, but you touched on like women wanting to support it, or touching on like women on their own niche kind of on the back end, but similar, she wanted to have just women open it, get excited, take a picture of it, put it on their stories, share it with other women. Like there really is power in those conversations. And just in that, and now that brand is like ginormous, and it's because it photographed it beautifully, and it was a pretty experience, and it felt pretty and
felt like
and
it
girly.
was a summer Friday.
Yes, it felt light and fresh and clean, right, and all of these things. And you know, so it's just a similar conversation that it does take a certain level of like emotional maturity, and like investment, because those things do matter, right? And like slapping your logo on something and throwing it in a bag is a lot different than how does it make them feel, or how does it look when they're using it, like whatever, those types of things. And like those details do matter
for sure.
They really do.
Absolutely. And I do try, and I moving forward with events, and I think that's why I've taken a little bit, and we'll get into that
we'll
too.
Get into that.
The step back is because I want to make sure that when I'm just the type of person that if I'm going to do something, especially if I've created it, it's what I feel like my creation. If I've created it and you're being drawn to it, I don't want to do anything that's going to steer away from that vision and that, you know, like the foundation of that something that I created. I don't want to steer away from it, and so I'd rather take a step back and perfect it and like come up with something that's gonna really make an impact beyond what it already has. I want to take it a step further, and the way to do that is to take a step back. In my opinion. Set
you up for success. Kind of reframe, reset the stage.
Right.
Take a minute. You started in photography, right? That's kind of your passion. Did you always want to do photography when you were younger, like when you were in school?
It's funny because somebody asked me that question very recently, and I was like, well, at first I was like, no, and then I thought, I was like, you know what? Actually, I've had a camera my whole life. Yeah, like I've had cameras on cameras on cameras on cameras.
Yeah,
and I don't even think I realized that I loved them so much.
Yeah,
until I started digging through. Actually, before my move to Orlando, I started digging through my closet at my mom's house because I was, just to give context, I moved in with my mom for a year and a half after I had broken up with like a previous relationship, and I moved home, and I was like traveling, so that was home base. So I like moved things in, but I hadn't really moved anything out. Yeah, and I had never been, I think, like in a relationship with someone where I fully felt like, okay, this is the person I'm probably going to build my life with. So now I can move everything out of my mom. So like everything was like stored there, you know, like I still lived elsewhere, but like I lived somewhere. I lived in North Miami, but all of my stuff was still at my mom's. You know what you know what I mean?
I totally get it. Yes.
So I was digging through my closet there, and I found like 6 different cameras from 6 different years of my life. And it was like, one was in middle school, and it was like an old pink Canon. Do you remember those like snapshot, like digital Canons? I had one that was I'm Sony, but I'm a Sony girl too. Yeah, Sony girl, but I've had a lot of Canons. I've had Sonys. I had another Sony digital that was No, it's just broken. I don't know what happened. I think the thing got jammed or whatever. Yeah. It was like one of those. Do you remember where you could take the black and white photo and then there was like a piece of the photo that could be colored, but you had to pick the color ahead of time?
No, that sounds so fun.
Okay,
though. Yeah.
I had that in high school.
Oh
so
my
I
gosh.
had that in high school, so I could take photos. Everything was in black and white, but you choose the colors. So if it was like your denim jacket, just the jacket.
You know what? No, I do actually kind of know what you're talking about. Yes.
Just your jacket was blue, and like anything else that was blue on the screen.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was awesome. I had a old Fuji camera. I had a handheld Sony camcorder. So cool. I had all the stuff, and I was like, I guess I am really
consistent.
Do love this. I do love this.
Crazy. Yeah,
I actually do love this. I just didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
Like, I got these cameras, and I wanted these cameras, and I wanted to take photos, but I didn't know what it all meant. I didn't know that you could make a living. I didn't even know that I could be an entrepreneur and create my own business and then expand from being a photographer to then doing marketing and so on. So I would say, now looking back, I think it's been a passion of mine for a long time, but I actually went to school. I graduated with a studio art degree, but I graduated with a painting degree.
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's so cool.
So I'm a painter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And it's so funny saying that because I haven't painted something in maybe like 4 years, something like that.
Oh my
when
gosh.
My boyfriend got me a paint by numbers thing for Christmas to like
reinvigorate.
Just to like try to open it back up.
Yeah.
But I have been a painter for years. I was a painter for years, which is so interesting. I've done all kinds of stuff. I've painted for this nonprofit I started when I was in my 20s with my girlfriend.
Wow, yeah.
I have been at different art shows. I've had my paintings displayed in college. Like,
oh, wow.
It was really cool. Yeah. I graduated studio art degree, a BFA in painting.
That's so, okay. So, and you're not interested in painting anymore?
I think it's just a different season. I think the season is for photography because what I was able to do with photography and I guess like the realm that I'm in, because it's technically brand photography. Sure. So I'm working with different businesses and through those businesses it's feeding like my entrepreneurial, like just my wheels right now. Yeah. And from there, like all of that creativity built up production experience, marketing experience, photography experience, just people experience. I've been able to build these two businesses, which that even sounds so weird to me. Cause to me, like the reason I was building them was just for community purposes. And like, now I would eventually love them to be full-time jobs. Yeah. And I think I'm working in that direction, but to say like business, I'm like brand business. I guess I have 2 more brands. Like, you know, it's super weird.
Were you like looking, like seeking out brand specific photography, or were you ever interested in like weddings, or like, how did that kind of come to be? Right. Cause there's photography is so broad, right? And people don't even know like really how micro you can get, which is like just product placement or just whatever. Like there really is a lot of variety. So walk us through that process. Yeah.
So actually, let me go back to like my employment history. Yes. I used to work at an advertising agency in Fort Lauderdale. I worked there for a year and a half. That was my first like big girl job out of college. Between college and that job, I took a year off just to like, I don't know what I want to do. I just want to experiment. So I like did some graphic design stuff. I designed stickers. I painted. I like just did an array of things. And then from there, I worked at a social media agency, which it was a startup, but I was working more in social. And then they were like, hey, you're actually kind of good at marketing. Come in for like conceptual stuff. From there, COVID happened. And because it was a startup, I don't even know what to say about it because everybody just kind of got laid off. Yeah. It just like dissolves. Right. Exactly. Right. And so
that's such a bummer.
It was. But you know what's crazy is that, just like that whole experience, it didn't click for me that like, oh wait, I can't go apply anywhere because no one's hiring. Right. I was like, wait, no one's hiring. Like at first I was like,
it's
whatever.
It's not just a me thing. Yeah. Right. It's like a world thing.
Yeah. So like at first when it happened, I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I'll just go get another job. You know, it's not that big of a deal. And then I think it was like that Monday happened.
It's like March, Friday, like 28th.
Yeah. It was March 18th. So like that Monday of like that week or whatever, that's when it happened. Then by like that Friday, it finally sank in. I was like, oh damn. Okay, in my mind, I was like, next week I'll go apply somewhere. And I'm like, wait, next week I can't because the world is shut down. Like, wait, I can't go on this trip to Asia that I booked. Yeah. And I booked this trip to Asia because I was like, I'm going to go backpacking. Yeah. And then that next week, it just, everything was, it was wild. So anyway, once COVID happened, I ended up getting into network marketing. I did it with my girlfriend and it was so fun. I learned so much. We were doing hair products and like selling on Instagram. That's where I learned like about social and how to sell and, you know, all that stuff. But some of the girls there, right? Like, cause you build a team in network marketing. It's like your team, whatever. Right. The girls that were on my team were kind of like, and this is like where the photography started. The girls on my team and in surrounding teams were asking, how do you do that? Like, how do you, like, you giving off like a message, and the message is, because one of the campaigns I did on my Instagram was like a no makeup, mascara and chapstick only, like to show that the skincare was so good. And so everyone was hashtagging mascara only or like no makeup or whatever. And it was like, it was just like a whole thing that everyone started getting into. And so the girls were asking me like, how did you do that? How did you come up with that? And I was like, I don't know. That's just what I do every day. So I'm just putting it out there. And so they were like, all right, can you do one for me? And I was like, sure, like some type of concept or, you know, and they're like, how do I make my Instagram like yours? I want to say this. I want to do this. How do I make my pictures look good? And I was like, you know what? Why don't I start charging for this? My girlfriend was like, you should I've charged $50. Don't like just take their photos for free. You're wasting your time. You could be working. And so I started taking iPhone photos for $50. I was like, hire me for $50. I'll take it on the iPhone. Because at the time I didn't have a camera.
iPhones
I was like,
are also like kind of great.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. But I was like, what can I use? Like, I'll just use your phone. You give me your phone. You give me $50. I'll come over to where you are. And I'll scout out locations. And so I'll take photos. So you can use that in selling your products, which benefits me, right? Because it's a network marketing thing. And so that happened. One girl did it, another girl did it, another girl. And so all of those girls who did it, I ended up buying a camera because I was like, all right, I might as well just buy a camera and do it with my camera and charge a little bit more. You know? And then my wheels started turning like, okay, how can I make this a business? So that's where it started. And then, I had like a few clients, and one of my girlfriends, she actually runs this page, and she's also a business owner. It's called The Biz People. And she is like somebody who taps into your whatever your dream, she's going to help you make it happen, right? Like she's going to give you the structure. She's going to give you the breakdown. This is how you're going to do it. So The Biz People, she's like, you're doing all this. This is who like is egging me on, right? Like she's like, okay. So she's like, all right, so now you bought your camera. Now you know how to do a photo shoot. Like this is a business. I was like, no, it's not. It's not a business. And she's like, yes, it is. She's like, all right, by the end of the year, I want you to launch some type of package, package. And I want you to make a goal, and I want you to say, okay, I want 5 people to book this package. And I was like, you're crazy. No one's going to book a photography package for, I was charging, I think like $150, something. And in my mind, I was like, that's too much. A lot of money. Yeah, totally. In my mind, that's too much. She's like, no. I said, I was like, I'm going to do 150. She goes, no, you're going to do 300. I was like, you're crazy. You're crazy. Right. So whatever. I love this though. No, So she was like, do it. So finally came up with like a little post, was like, I'm selling packages, sold out in 10 minutes. I was like, no freaking way. She was like, I told you. I told you need to be doing this.
Did you always have this like entrepreneurial spirit like when you were a kid?
You know what? I think so. So only because my mom tells us the story all the time, but she tells the story of like how I used to have this red wagon, and we used to live out in Hollywood, Florida, and we had a lot of kids in our neighborhood, and I had this red wagon that I would just drag around with me everywhere. And there was one day like all the kids were playing outside, and I came in with the wagon, and I started like taking stuff out of the fridge. And I was like taking some like lemonade, iced tea, like snacks, and I put them all in the wagon. And I was like,
who wants to buy them?
$1.
Thank you. Yes. Who wants to buy my old Kool-Aid? This is for you. My already opened lemonade, $5. Thank
like
you.
Setting up a little like stand, and my mom's like, "What are you doing?
Like, you cannot do that.
This is our food.
Hi, you need to eat that actually." But Mom, I can make us money. $5 for this cookies.
People were just coming like a quarter.
I'm so dead.
And I at the time, obviously, I'm just so young at this point. Like I don't even know what I'm doing. Like maybe I'm 7. 7.
Yeah, right.
And my mom's like, "It's fine. Just take what you want, just stay in the grass in the front yard. And so I did it, and I would come back with like some cash, and my mom's like, oh my God.
That is so funny. You're like, Mom, we're rich.
We're rich.
You're welcome. Hello.
Exactly. And so she tells this story all the time, and I really do, like, that's what makes me think, right? Because there's only so much I can remember from when I'm younger.
Sure.
But that's what makes me think that maybe I did have this spirit the whole time. But I will say that what brought it out was circumstantial.
Sure.
Right? Because I think that when you have experience in the corporate world, which there's no knock to anyone in the corporate, I have so many friends in the corporate world, and in my mind, I thought that that's like the path that I had to take, because everyone around me was
just like what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, I even have lawyer friends who are like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. You know, like now in our 30s. But anyway, so I think having corporate experience for me was the kicker, because I was showing up every day, although I was excited to have my first big girl job, right? My brother actually got me the job there, and he was like, yeah, my sister's awesome, like hire her, whatever. So I went in for my interview, got hired. I was on a team full of amazing people. We're still very good friends to this day, but it was the repetitiveness. And I think because like I was showing up, but I was also like, why are we doing this? Yeah. Like, why are we doing this? Right. I was, at the time, was watching like commercials and making sure that the commercials had no grammar mistakes. Sure. Sending them out to different media platforms like TV. So we're they're called spots. So like the commercials are spots. There's like 100 different commercials running at different times, and you're making sure that the green ones are sent out. That's good. The red ones are the ones that need, like just edits. Yeah. And so for me, I'm like, I feel like such a I don't know, like, what am I doing here? I feel like I'm such a small, tiny part of something bigger, but I don't feel like I have room to even explore anything outside of this, because this is my one job. And what I would like is to be able to explore everything. Like, I remember from watching those commercials, I would see other people at work go to the production part of it. They would go watch the commercial being produced, and I was like, okay, how can I do that? They were like, no, you can't come, that's not your job. And I was like, what do you mean I can't come? Like how am I gonna learn though? Yeah, how do I learn? How do I expand if this is where I'm at and I can't go beyond this? And I know that some people feel like, okay, well, I'm only gonna do this, I'm only going to do XYZ because XYZ is my job. I'm like, you're giving me XYZ, but what about A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Like, what about all, how do I know all, like, I need to know more detail about what I'm doing. I don't understand what I'm doing. I always use this phrase, being a small fish in a big pond versus being a big fish in a small pond. And sometimes it's good to be like a little fish in a big pond, right? If you're going to learn and learn and learn, whatever. But a lot of times you don't get to have that opportunity. And sometimes it's better to then just be a big fish in a little pond, because then at least you have that autonomy again over your career, over what decisions you're making, like over creative, monetarily, blah, blah, blah. Like there is a bit of like paying your dues kind of, and I use that phrase loosely in the beginning, but there is a ceiling that you hit. Yes. And what else are you going to do? Just be Ms.? No. Just because it's a good job, who cares? Like, and do something else. And we weren't even getting paid that well. I mean, too, like, it was my starter job straight out of college, which rightfully so. I feel like that was appropriate for someone who's like just getting into the workforce and has zero experience. So I'm not knocking that at all. But what I am, I guess, like, knocking is that I wish I could have expanded, and there were times I asked, like, hey, can I do like a course on this? Would the job pay for it, just for me to learn a little bit more? Yeah. And because I was put, like, I guess I just couldn't go beyond where I was. Sure. I started working on other things. Right. So, and then it was like wandering eyes, and you're like, well, and then something else. And then they're like, okay, well, you can't work on that. I'm like, so I'm just supposed to, like, this is just my personality, because everyone's different. So me personally, I was like, so I'm just supposed to sit here and wait for this to come in, but I can't do something else. I can't like get creative. I can't go ahead or like problem solve ahead. I can't fall too behind. Yeah, right. I have to stay right here. Right. I almost feel like you guys are stagnant. I'm just stagnant, and I think that's what like built it up for me. Right. And then hearing, one of my girlfriends, she's got so much happening. So she runs the Biz People. Her and I have been friends for a really long time. She's part of that same group of girls. We started a nonprofit together called Change Is Ours, and like another group of girlfriends we started that with. And so in the period between like being at work, having downtime at work, I was like, perfect. I want to work on this nonprofit. Why not? It's doing good. They can't get mad at me. Like, what are you supposed, what am I, you know? So I started working on that. And the more days I would show up to work where I like completed the task and had that downtime and worked on the nonprofit, right? Because we're not making any money off of this, which at the time we didn't know nonprofits could be profitable. We were just like, we pay out of our pocket, right? It's a nonprofit. Exactly. So at the time, it was like purely creativity. Like it was purely like, what can we come up with? What can we dream about? You know, like me and my girlfriend were just like, what can we do to make something for the community? And, you know, we've had a lot of community experience, and we were like, let's take it one step further, make a page, right? Like, I feel like we were a little bit ahead of our time. What Hey Girl Orlando and Wellness House is what we tried to make this nonprofit called Change Is Ours. We tried to make it that to that degree, but at the time, no one was really doing
You were
that.
A bit ahead of the curve.
Yes, way ahead. Because now if we started it, I think it would be explosive. But anyway, so at the time, I'm like secretly working on that at work, right? And
with the lights down low in the back.
Yeah, exactly. And that for me, I think like was, I guess like the gas, right? Like that was the gas for me. And I ended up just getting more creative. We were coming up with social posts. I was like, what can we build out of this? And then my girlfriend quit her job to work on the nonprofit and to build her own thing. And I was like, wait, you can do that? You can literally build whatever you want? I don't get it. Like, I was just like, I thought you had to have like way more experience to quit your job and go build something. And so watching that paired with going into work every day, I think I was like, wait, I don't want to do this. Like, I can totally figure it out.
Absolutely. And sometimes I think that that's the best route to take, is almost a bit thrown in the deep end, because then you have no other choice but to figure it out.
Right.
Because the bills are going to come regardless, and you're going to have to make money regardless. And sometimes I see, you know, if girls are working here and then they also are like bartending on the side or like a barista on the side, and I'm always like, you're never going to make it if you still have this other job pulling you away, distracting you. Quit that. I know it's scary, but quit that, because I promise you're going to show up differently, right? And I'm sure whenever you decided to leave your job or pursue that, you know, then you have no choice but to make it work and to make it happen and free up that mental space to be creative and to be pursuing what you actually care about. Like, it's a tough decision, but
worth it.
You need to do it.
And
Absolutely.
I think there's also a certain type of maybe I could be wrong, right? Like, I'm not a psychologist, but I think that there is a certain type of personality too.
Absolutely.
Like, I have definitely been the type, like, well, just pull the plug right now. Like, we could just pull the plug right now.
That's how I feel. Yes.
I'm like, I will pull the plug on everything and start over. I don't care how many times. I will start over 100 times if it means I'm doing what I'm happy with.
I totally agree. I've lived in so many different places as an adult, and I've moved around so much because I'm like, don't like it, going somewhere else. I can do better going somewhere else.
I started so many things. I can't even tell you, like, actually, since getting this relates to what we're talking about, but since getting the puppy, we have 2 dogs now, right? We have a golden doodle, we have a sheepadoodle, the puppy. My boyfriend took a picture of me walking both, and I have the golden on a thing, and he's like strapped to me, and then the puppy's in my hands and the little leash. I sent it to my girlfriends, and they're like, oh my God, remember when you wanted to be a professional dog walker?
Stop.
Boom.
Now you are. Now you have 2. You're like, oh, perfect.
I was like, my dream.
Yes, literally. I manifested all these years later. Look at me.
That's like one of the things I even threw at the wall. I was like, I could totally make a living as a dog walker.
Right.
I tried it, and then it was still around the time of COVID.
Sure.
So people went home, and I was like, dang it. Now I'm out of business because everyone's
like, damn, I missed my boat right there. I was behind the curve, unfortunately, with that one. That's so funny. I just love having these conversations though, because I love learning about how people make their money, and I love learning about how people make it happen, right? Because obviously everyone has a different background, and even talking about your group of girlfriends, my group of girlfriends, it's just so fascinating to hear like how you make it happen. You know, show up for your life and show up for what makes you excited, and it's just such a fun time to be like young, and like the world
Now's
is
the time.
Our oyster. We can do whatever we want, right? And I find a lot of freedom in that, and I know that it can stress people out, but I'm not like that. I'm like you.
Stress people out.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I like it. I can do whatever I want, and I like that.
My friends, not like those group of girlfriends, but like a lot of people I guess I've like met throughout my life, I feel like only now are they like, oh, okay, she's still just doing it.
Yeah.
But at the time, it just seemed like a little crazy, right? Like,
yes. No, I swear, guys, I know what I'm doing. Like, I've done this before.
I don't know. I'm just like following the vibes. Like,
I'm following my heart. Okay. Hello. This is about me. I'm the main character, and this is what I want to do.
I really do think it's like, I don't know. I don't want to come off like, oh, it's like, you could do anything, you know, but you
actually can.
You
actually can.
I think if you have like enough, first of all, energy to like withstand
and like
what you're building.
Charisma.
Energy, charisma, you're personable, you're kind. Yes. I think kindness gets you very far. Kind. I think if you're creative, if you have an imagination, if you've ever had an idea about anything, you can make it happen because look at, like, what I like to say is like, look at everything that exists. Absolutely. Somebody made this light.
Yep.
You know, so what makes you think that you can't build a community of your own or like just any page, anything, anything?
I feel the exact same way. And I feel like we talked about niching down, you can get as niche as you want because there are other people like you, right? Who like the same things you do, want the same things you do, are in a similar age bracket or timeline, whatever. Like, you know, if it's not, you know, negatively impacting your babies, your relationship, your parents, whatever, like, so be it. Like, try.
That's
because if it doesn't happen, then you know what? You're in the exact same spot you were before. And that is the human experience, right? And that's something that I've really learned this last year. The human experience in, you can make whatever decisions you want, and they're all lessons, and everyone's paths are so different, right? You touch on, some of your friends have babies, some are lawyers, some don't, whatever, like similar in our group, some have babies, some are not. And, you know, we're just all different, and that's life. That's what's beautiful. You get to do whatever, and nothing is right or wrong. It's all subject to you and what makes the most sense for you. It's very cool.
And also just know that, like, I'm not coming at this too, like, for everyone. I'm not coming at this like, if you make that decision, it's all sugar coated and it's a freaking breeze.
It's extremely hard.
It's actually the opposite. I actually chose like what I feel like is a way harder path. Absolutely. Because I'm constantly having to pull from the hat of creativity to come up with what I'm going to do next. Like take Hey Girl Orlando, for instance, right? Yes. I created this account. I unintentionally built a following. I hosted these events. I've partnered with businesses. But so we were talking about it earlier, this particular season over the last couple months, because a couple months is a season, I have taken a little bit of a step back because that creativity was so on fire and I was producing so much and collabing so much that I needed to take a break in order to come back the right way, because I realized what I guess had in place for what I thought it was going to be, it just completely grew out of nowhere, or like just like not out of nowhere, because I was pretty consistent, but it grew beyond what I thought it would be at this point. And so now it requires a different set of skills. It requires a different strategy. A team. It requires a team. It requires a lot more than just like putting something up on a page, right? Because when you are hosting an event, you want to find sponsors, you want to find venues, you want to make sure the vibe is right, you want to make sure everyone is getting what they want, you want to make sure people are happy, you want to make sure that it's documented, that it's going to be on social. Then you have to actually make the event page, link it, the email ad. You know, it's a lot. It's almost like a full functioning business right now, events business. And I think when I started it was with a different mentality. It was with like, oh, I'll just throw like a few networking events.
Like community versus like event, right? Like community connection rather than like event business.
Right. And now it's like a combination of both, but it's also the marketing behind it too, which I can only do so much as one person and still be sane, because I have a partner,
and like a life,
dogs, I have a life,
right?
And I also want to enjoy that, right? Because I know that there's other events popping up in Orlando, and I want to go. Like I want to go.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's like a selfish thing, but I also want to have that experience of like how Orlando is growing. Yeah. You know, because when I moved here, it's so different from where it's at now. And I've been in the mix of the growth that I am like forcing myself to take a step back to then attend to be like, oh, let me fill my cup before I fill everyone else's cup on social. Right. And like, yes, it'll help people meet up in person. And from what I hear, I've been like, this page has inspired a lot of other people to build their communities. Yeah. And I'm so grateful to like even hear that and to feel like I had an impact. But I'm also like, okay, that's amazing. Yes, I want to go to your event.
You're like, I pass the torch, babe.
Right.
You can do it.
I want to go to your event.
Yeah.
And like, I want to come to you and I want to like just
enjoy.
Yeah. I don't want anyone to. Sometimes I don't even, honestly, I am that type of person. I'm super friendly and I'm so open. But sometimes I just want to go to an event, have a little drink, and like don't anyone follow me.
You want to take a pic?
Yeah,
Let's take a pic.
Yeah. Or like I want to go with one girlfriend and just have like a little yoga session or like Pilates, whatever.
Yeah.
And just go home.
Yeah.
You know, and just
I don't want to clean up. I don't want to take pictures.
Because it's a lot. It's an entire production every time. And
absolutely. So and it's very stressful.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's fun. It's fun. But there's a lot of that goes behind it.
A lot of variables, moving pieces.
A lot of moving pieces. And I'm excited to get back into it.
I was going to say, so what's next then?
Yeah.
What's on the horizon?
Well, okay, so I started planning out Q4.
Okay.
I would love to do more events in Q4.
Yeah.
I have a few collaborations that I'm working on. There's going to be both free events and paid events, which the paid events are the ones like the networking events where you have to pay a ticket for. And I think that's fair because, you know, hosting an event, again, it's an entire production, but I also want to make sure that people feel like they're getting involved in the community and they have a place to go for it. So that's hence the free events, and I'll be doing some collaborations. I'm also planning out 2026. So that's really exciting because I got a lot of insight over the last year that I've been here of like, you know, what I can do, who I want to talk to, the direction I want to take it. And that's helping me plan for 2026. So I pretty much have a lot planned out for 2026, like the outline of it. That's awesome. Yeah. And then now it just comes down to actually making it happen. Sure. And that's like a whole other monster.
Right.
So I would say for 2025, Q4, we're going to do some walking stuff. I don't want to like give too much away.
Yeah.
Hot girl walking stuff, which I know you can't say hot girl walk. Like I don't know who patented.
Oh, that's patent.
Yeah, it's a thing. So
we can't call it that.
Yeah. I guess you can't say like hot girl walk, whatever. Hey girl walk.
Hey girl, sexy walk.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey girl walk. Yeah. Lots of good stuff for the fall. For Christmas time, I want to get involved in the community because I've been also traveling a lot over the last year. So I didn't even get to experience Orlando during Christmas time. Yeah. Like I only got like a little blip of it. Yeah. And so I want to do something that's involved in the community with the holiday season coming up. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. And just there's a mix of things. I don't want to give too much away.
Good stuff coming though.
Good stuff coming. Good. And also something I'm thinking about too after our conversation is I would love to host something in Lake Mary.
Yes, please. Yeah. The Lake Mary girls are begging us Northerners. Okay, Lake Mary to DeLand to DeBerry to freaking Deltona, please.
And that's part of like the expansion, right? Yeah. Because I feel like I am getting a lot of feedback of like, okay, cool, downtown, you know, love it. But can you come to Winter Garden?
Totally.
Can you come to, and I want to make sure that I have the availability and capacity. I want to have the capacity to be able to do those things.
Absolutely.
And so it starts with one event at a time, one little thing at a time. But I would say that Hey Girl Orlando is coming to the larger Central Florida area, larger Central Florida area. And it might not always be me, but it'll be a group of people who are going to be helping me throw it and just, you know, I'm going to attend as many as I can. Yeah. But I want to also maintain that autonomy from the business.
Absolutely.
Line, you know? But again, you know, I think we talked about it a little bit earlier. It's going to evolve into different seasons, right? Like we're in one season right now, but like eventually, and this is just like me and my foresight, or what do you call that?
Foresight? Yeah.
Foresight
is right.
Foresight?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I question like
broad looking forward. Yeah. I think so. Check us in the comments.
Can we get a grammar check?
Sure. Yes. Like, Kaylee, where are you?
Vocab check, please. Right? But anyway, so what I foresee.
Yes,
right?
That's right. Yeah.
What
that was right. Yep.
Is the seasons changing as I change?
Right.
So the season of Hey Girl Orlando stuff changing. Maybe like in a couple years from now, it'll be
Hey Mama.
Yeah. But like I want to squeeze out every.
Can we talk about your personal life for like 2 seconds? Okay.
Please.
Can you touch on being? You said you're in your 30s.
Yes, 33.
33.
Because I'm not like one of those weirdos that.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's weird. Sorry.
No, it's weird. Anyway. It is weird. Just tell us your age.
I like whatever. We're 33. Who cares?
You can change it, so just say it. You are not married, but maybe soon. Okay. Can you touch on like navigating intentionally being single and not feeling the pressure of that in your late 20s and early 30s, and how to navigate that and like let everyone seriously hop off because you're living your own life and like wanting to make your own decisions right now?
I love this question because I feel like I'm a secret, like not secret, but like I don't openly talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
But to my friends, I'm a huge advocate. And just to give you context, I'm someone who dated a lot. I've dated a lot. And there was a period before I'm with my partner now where I was single for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm having the best time of my life now.
Yeah.
But I also had the best time of my life when I was single. And I'm 33 now. So I was 30 to 32. Yeah. 30 to 32. I was pretty much single.
Yeah.
And I did so much. I literally just said yes to life. And I think that if you everyone who's, I guess, like my age, right, and is navigating that single girl era, squeeze every drop of juice that you can out of it. Like sometimes I'm sure you wake up and you're like, I want my partner. I'm sure you do. But I promise you, once you find that partner, it's a little bit of endgame, right?
Absolutely.
It's a little endgame because you're like, all right, now I want to build with this person. It's not about me anymore. Now it's about us. Right. But if you have the opportunity for it to be just about you, you get to be selfish and say yes to everything. The best thing I ever did was be single and say yes to a job opportunity. And because of that job opportunity, it was in production and it was like through a friend of a friend of a friend. I got to travel I was living in Mexico City for a month and a half.
Oh, wow.
I did Peru for a month and a half, did Machu Picchu. And then I went to Brazil for a month and a half to go visit my bestie who lives there. Yeah. And then I attended some of her life events that were there, but I got to find my own apartment in Brazil. Yeah. I lived there for 8 weeks.
How fun is that?
8 weeks. Yeah. I lived there almost 8 weeks. It was like 7.5, something like that. Lived there for almost 8 weeks, but I was single. Yeah. I was single in my apartment. I lived my life. I had my stuff, like I think there's nothing that beats establishing that foundation for yourself before getting into a partnership.
I agree.
Because you get into a partnership and I think that no matter how you spin it, I always say that I'm cut in half because I'm considering me and I'm considering someone else now. Where I had that period where I was just considering me and I look back at that and I'm like, I'm so glad I did that because then I made room to consider someone else. So if you're in this era where you're navigating singlehood, squeeze every drop of juice out because like you said, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. And you're in the era where like, if you want to say no, say no. Sure. Say no. Do whatever you want. Say yes, say no. Make your decisions based off of you. Yeah. And do what makes you happy. Because when you do meet your partner, you're going to be so happy you did that because you're like, oh, wow, I did everything I wanted to. And I don't feel like I'm being held back in any way. And I don't feel like I have to change myself. I'm going to meet this person exactly as I am.
And arguably the best version of yourself, right?
The best version. I worked on myself so much. I worked out. I ate right. I found what I like, what I don't like. I chatted on Hinge.
You're an adult, right? And like, I think that's where I feel like so much, I feel so passionate about now that I'm in my late 20s. I feel a lot of, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but like I feel very strongly about waiting to get married and stuff until you're a bit older because you are just so different when you are 21 to 25.
I cannot even tell you.
To 28. I'm 28 now. I feel significantly different than I did even 2 years ago. I'm a 100% different person than I was 2 years ago. And obviously that impacts your relationships. Obviously that impacts your family, friends, whatever. Like I, in hindsight, am like, wow, my mom got married a lot older and had me and my brother when she was in her late 30s. And I used to always be like, like that probably won't be me. I'll probably be married and have a bunch of kids before I'm like 25. I don't have kids, right? Like that's not like the path that I took whatsoever. But I love having these conversations because I think there's so much pressure on young people to have their career for forever figured out, have their partner for forever figured out, have babies already so early on. And I'm like, oh my God, you're 24. Yeah. You have your whole life ahead of you. And I just look at things so differently now. And I'm like, I can't wait to be in my 30s because I feel like that will really be the most amazing time of my life. And I'm like, I'm so over learning all these lessons and like going through all this chaos in my 20s because I just know that my 30s are going to be so fulfilling
it's like more peace. I think it's,
yes.
I'm at a level of peace I've never experienced. And that's like aside from my partner. I'm talking about like within.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, this is your, you know, you're like the healthiest you've ever been. You're making hopefully the most amount of money you have before. You're the prettiest version of yourself, the most mentally strong, and like your fortitude, like all of these things. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. It sounds amazing.
The foundation is just so strong.
Yeah.
It's unshakable.
Yeah.
Unshakable.
I love that.
And I wasn't going to bring this up, but I do want to talk about it a little bit because I feel like this was like a catalyst for a lot of the things I've done in the last, what am I, 33 to a year and a half, 2 years. I was in a relationship for 6 years before this. And when I was 30, I ended the relationship at 30. Yeah. At 30. And I ended it because like there were just situations that made me realize I don't think this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. And you know. And I'm, and your also body knows. Like, I don't want to change you. Yeah. And I don't want you to change me. And I still feel like I have a lot to figure out about who I am. Yeah. To even make that decision about what I want. And like, this sounds bad. I'm so glad I did it. Because I think it was beneficial for both of us. You get to do your thing. Sure. I get to do my thing. We get to figure ourselves out separately. But it was the best thing I did because I made space. Absolutely. For me. And like space to figure out what I wanted. And I was a little bit scared because I'm sure at 30 you're like, oh my God, all my friends are already married.
It's been 6 years. We should just like get married anyway. Like who cares? We know each other so well. Right.
No, it was just, I don't know what, it was like from one day to the next, to be honest. And I remember feeling like, okay, wait, I would like to just like move back to my mom's, like, or like I want to go like see things and I don't want to have to worry about someone else. Yeah. And I'm not in that stage to take it to the next level where I want to worry about someone else. Yeah. And so I ended up making that decision and leaving my partner at 30. And it was like at first I was like, what? You know, like at first you're like, it's like that first hour, you're like, I'm crazy. Yeah. And then after that, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Yeah. And then it got easier the more I started putting myself into situations that I was growing from. Yeah. And it made it easier because I was like, oh my God, this experience I'm growing from, it feels so good. I'm learning something from this. I learned something previously and now I'm implementing it and then I'm just continuing on. Yeah. And I'm putting myself into like, I got a new role as a production coordinator / executive assistant for this production company. And it was so fun. And I learned a lot about me and I owe it to that time period that I was working there and just like all around making that decision for myself and not basing it around how the other person's going to feel. Like you have to make decisions for you until you're in that place, right? Where now in my relationship, I'm like, all right, what's the best decision for us? Yeah. Because I've had all that time. Yeah. You know? Absolutely. I've had that time and I really do. I'm a huge advocate for like making sure that you spend as much time with yourself, figuring out who you are, the things that you want before you have to getting there. Yeah. And because once you're locked in, you're locked in.
And then you're stuck, right? Potentially, right? And like, I think, you know, people, a lot of women, I think stay in like fruitless marriages as well because they're like, oh, I don't want to leave, right? Or like they're miserable for the rest of their life. And it's like, so what's the alternative then? You then stay with this person for the rest of your life and you're miserable. And you're miserable.
And then you get one. You get one. You get one life.
And like now you've wasted all these years already. And it's like, you know, you mentioned you're like, I just knew for a little bit, whatever, like this isn't working. How long are you going to let your life pass you without taking control and going back to autonomy? I feel like we've said that so many times, but I'm really passionate too about showing up for your life. It is your life. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to help you. You are an exact reflection of the decisions that you've made, what you're eating, what you're consuming.
So crazy.
How you know what I mean? Like you are, I can tell you eat poorly. I know you don't take care of your skin. I know you are in this toxic relationship. I know, right? Like you are a representative of the decisions that you make. And it always just breaks my heart when I see either young girls in here or wherever, you know, not showing up for your own life. You only get one, like you said. How are you going to spend it?
Right.
You get to pick.
Every day. And this is like, I don't know, maybe this is how I get my, like viewpoint on life, right? Because I feel my boyfriend laughs at me all the time because I wake up and I'm like, good morning. And he's like, who wakes up like this?
I'm kind of like that too. I'm like, the day is awake, the sun is out.
And he's like, who wakes up like this? And I'm like, me, I do, because I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful every single day, because the way that I view it is that today is another opportunity.
Yes.
I'm looking at every day like an opportunity. And then the reason I wake up like that is because I'm like, wow, all these opportunities that are out in the world today, and I get to choose what opportunity I'm going to go after, how I'm going to spend my time.
Yes.
I get to choose. Even if you're, I mean, I'm not comparing not choosing to working in corporate. I just want to be like correct, like come up, right here. But even if you're working at a job that you're at right now, you still get to choose how your day goes. Yep. I mean, something could come at you that you don't like, but you still get to choose the emotion behind it. Yep. You still get to choose how you respond to it. Yep. You get to choose what you do before work. You get to choose what you eat before work. Mm-hmm. You get to choose like the route that you go to work. Absolutely. You get to choose what you wear. You get to choose how you present yourself. So like all these choices along the way, you get that every day that you're alive.
And how lucky are you that your legs work and that your heart is beating and that your eyes can see things that are so beautiful. And you know what the alternative is? You're dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like seriously, the alternative is you get no choices and you're dead. Right. So you're here. Make the most. You might as well show up for it. Because what other choice do you have? Because imagine, you're just like bitching about all those options. Of course you're Ms. You know what I mean? Yes. Like I think about this all the time. I don't know why, but especially in the last couple of years, my brother is like really sick, and well, not right now, but like he has this whatever. And I think also seeing things like through his eyes, I'm like, you guys just like have no idea like what it could look like, right? Yeah. Like having like a degenerative illness or ailment, right? Like who knows? But there really is so much freedom and life in show up how you want. Yes, you know what I mean? Like it's your life, and you woke up breathing this morning. So don't let it go to waste. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, this was so fun. Seriously, I love this chat. We could talk for hours and hours. We'll have to have you back on for real. Seriously, this was amazing. And I'm so excited for the rest of the year. I'm so excited for next year. Hopefully you'll see the girls maybe at some events. I don't know. Like you'll see. Yeah, we would love. For everyone listening, share with everyone where they can follow you, how they can be a part of events. If someone is listening and they want to sponsor something, or maybe they want to donate something, or they want to get involved, tell everyone how they can find you, how they can contact you, plug yourself.
Okay, awesome. Hi. Hello. Okay, so where you can find me on Instagram, Hey Girl Orlando. I'm going to start a TikTok also, because I realized TikTok is the ish. Like, that's whoa, I honestly got on TikTok very recently, and I'm like, I freaking love TikTok.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for the TikTok community welcoming me. I'm going to start a TikTok. So you'll find a lot more stuff on there. Instagram, I think, is going to be more for like flyers and building the brand, where TikTok, I'm just going to be real. And like, not that I'm not real on Instagram, but like, I think TikTok is just a little more fluid. Like you don't need to like post the most aesthetic thing. You just get on and tell your story. So you'll see two different sides, one on TikTok, one on Instagram. Both are going to be Hey Girl Orlando. What else? Okay. So events, I have a link in the bio for Instagram. You can typically go to the Eventbrite page, follow the actual brand page, and you'll be updated on events. I also have a newsletter that you can sign up for. I would love for you guys to sign up for the newsletter. I'm going to be starting that back up again. I was doing a really good job, but life gets in the way, travel gets in the way. Yep. But I want to start that back up, because I feel like that's the place where I can communicate with you guys the best in writing. Mm-hmm. That way you guys have all the information. I'm a detail type of person. I want to give it to you all, so you have all the info. So Instagram, TikTok, email, Eventbrite page. And for any collaborators and sponsors, I also have a form that you can fill out through that same link. It'll take you to a link tree, and you can just like look through each one. It's for sponsors, collaborators, anybody that wants to work with Hey Girl Orlando, you can fill that out. I'm always checking the responses, and that's really where I pull from a lot of like for the events now, because it was just getting too crazy through DM. Like I love the DMs. I answer as many as I can, but if I don't, I'm so sorry. I I'm only one person. Yes. But yeah, so there's a form that you can fill out, and I'm constantly sifting through it to kind of curate the next event. So whether you you insert your information and submit your information 1 month, that doesn't mean that in 3-4 months from now, I'm not going to reach out to you and be like, hey, do you want to do this with us? I might not get back right away, but maybe it's because I've kind of like placed you in a different spot in my mind for like a different type of event. So you will hear from me, and I'm probably just going to plug you into a date, a time, and a concept for the event, and then you guys can just let me know. Yeah. So those are all the places you can find me. You can also find me, and this is Hey Girl Orlando stuff. Yes. I have Wellness House. I am partnered with my girlfriend Melissa. We are co-founders of Wellness House. We're trying to partner with different areas in downtown Orlando for these wellness opportunities, and we're trying to make it cool every time. Yeah. We want different spaces, different venues, just for you to come to the event. It's different every time, and you have like a full-blown experience. And then my personal and branding page, my personal is Natalie Priscilla, and my photography page is Flow Management, FLOWWMGMT, and I do brand photography. Perfect. So if anybody needs any content for their business, any marketing strategy, I do that. The same thing I do for me, I would basically do for you.
That's awesome. So, yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much. Seriously, this was so fun. Yeah, this was fun. I can't wait for your next event. I'll be there. You already know. Me and my all my girls will be there. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode, and we will see you next week. Bye.